Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hello, Murray.
Hello, Adam. Good evening.
Hello. So this is the last of the InCider Sessions, at least for the time being.
Don't panic.
But we will be back next week with the first of the Outsider Sessions, which will be still socially isolated, since Murray and I have both got very good reasons to be careful. Maybe I'll be in the back of my car on Murray's drive again, or maybe we'll both be in cars connected by a couple of cables. Who knows? We'll see next
we'll
week.
find a way. So, yes, it is therefore going to continue. It may be in a different way, but it will continue. So, just thought it's worth mentioning, if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure that you follow our page. Then you'll get little notifications of times and so on when things go out. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and click that little notification thingy so that you get told when the next thing is going out. Other little bits of admin, links are as ever wherever the heck they go, but the link for a coffee, I really would like to say a massive thank you to everyone who very kindly bought us a coffee last week. So the link is somewhere. There's also a link to our debut album Untold, all that stuff as per normal. But anyway, let's get on with the first track, which I think most of you will know this song, won't they, Adam?
I think so, yeah. Although you'll be pleased that we aren't actually singing it.
Absolutely, yes. I think the situation in the world is challenging enough without that.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, have a listen.
This one is called Black is the Colour. But I'm white! White!
So that was Black is the Colour in its unsung Ciderhouse version. It's nice to play something where you enjoy the space. It's really pleasant to be able to just really enjoy lush textures and listen to each other.
When we were recording that, it was one of the few times when the phone line was good. We could actually hear ourselves. We knew as soon as we finished that it was a good version. Although you will notice that my face disappears after a while because my video stopped just before the end. But I hope you enjoyed that little bit of sea there. It's from my absolute favourite place in the world. It's Pig's Paradise on Colonsay, Scottish Island.
I actually thought removing your face was a positive benefit.
Yeah, me too, to be honest. But there you go. So this week, tomorrow, as is the release of the InCider Sessions album, recorded entirely in social isolation, mostly using the godforsaken landline telephone system that we've been communicating by.
Yeah, I
Obviously
think I've come to the conscious decision that I'm not going to try and market it. I think if I put it out on the market as the latest studio monitoring system, I would be laughed out of the business.
Yeah, there have been moments, it has to be said, this week when we've been trying to play and couldn't hear anything. I could hear Murray perfectly clearly until I start playing it, and then suddenly a noise like overcomes the phone line. Impossible.
Yeah.
We had to give up several times.
And the same but backwards. Adam, absolutely crystal clear, and literally play. All I need to do is play one note very quietly, and that horrible noise that Adam just made appears. It is quite. Thank you. I think they heard it the first time. Yeah, inexplicable bizarreness and utterly frustrating and trying. But there we go.
But despite that, miraculously, well, you've heard the results if you've been listening to the InCider Sessions up to now. We have managed to create music. We've created music that didn't exist at all until we started playing each track. It's the way we always do it, even if we use an old folk tune.
Yeah, and this CD, it's well, we picked our favourites really from the. I think we've done over 100 minutes of music now.
It must be 120 by now. I think
something of that order. Maybe even more now. I lose track. But there are 12 tracks. It comes in at I think 67 or 68 minutes long. It's had brand new artwork. It's been mastered by the absolutely superb engineer John Astley, and it is sounding. I have to say, it's sounding rather splendid.
And it's available now as a limited edition of 100 copies signed by us. So if you have a particular number you want, you better get in quickly. For whatever reason you might.
On that. We will be physically signing and numbering them. There's none of that clever printy stuff. We are actually going to get the old pen out. So these are absolutely limited, special, unique products. So grab them whilst we've got them.
Do you have the album cover to put up on screen there, Murray?
Oh, yes. I shall do that now. There we go.
Okay, perfect.
Looks good. So yeah, the link is in the description and we'll pop it up all over the place, etc, etc. We as we say, it's released tomorrow. Get your orders in quick. Those 100 I don't think are going to be here for that long, so I'd grab them whilst you can.
So on that note, I think it's probably time to allow the chicken to introduce the next piece.
Adam wrote this, but doesn't know what it's called. So I will call it Jeremy Can Fly.
So that is indeed a tune of mine, as Jeremy so kindly told you. The name is entirely unanticipated and to me doesn't really suit the track at all, but never mind. That came about for a strange reason, really. Murray and I were talking about, I can't remember quite what, but it was over text, and it was the idea of making an arrangement of some traditional thing, and he said, why don't we do it in a really strange meter? Why, it's in 13, so the groupings end up in 13/16 we should do. And I said, yeah, and so on every 8th bar we should go into grouping of 7/8, and that amused us because we're silly.
Because we're idiots. Yes.
And that's all that was supposed to be happening, until I went for a short drive to pick up some stuff we needed, and a tune came into my mind in 13/16, and then I thought, oh yes, that's interesting. It sounds like an old Scottish thing. I wonder how that could work. Can I actually finish it with the 7/8 bars? And so I got back, scribbled it down, recorded it, and sent it to Murray, much to his horror.
Yes. One of these days I will learn not to make jokes when Adam is in a creative frame of mind. I've suffered before. I suspect I will suffer again.
I'm sure of it.
Yes, absolutely. Talking of suffering, I'm going to introduce the next thing, which is that renowned chicken, Mr. Jeremy Bird. So I haven't heard this interview. I've been told it is quite miraculous and amazing and wonderful. Who knows what he's talking about? Is he talking about the current political situation? Is he talking about the next chicken in space? Who knows? Let's watch and find out.
Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy, I've got some questions for you again from your fans.
My fans.
Your fans.
I love fans.
Good.
Like shoes.
So, you fans better or worse than shoes?
Worse.
Okay. So, one of the question is, what is the next step for you career-wise?
Noisy.
Yes, it is noisy. It's a car. What's the next step for you career-wise? In the future, will you be touring with the Ciderhouse Rebellion, or will you be concentrating on your own projects?
A bird. I will be touring with Murray.
You'll be touring with Murray?
Yes,
And what about me?
you're noisy.
So not with me.
Noisy.
I see.
You kept me up again.
Okay.
Not even Murray. You
Eh,
late.
Oh.
And now I am a bad-tempered bird.
Okay, so I'll move very quickly on to the
Yes.
next question.
Yes,
So, Jeremy,
yes.
if you could exhume,
You,
means like dig up.
my fans.
No, somebody who's already dead. Your fans are not dead. If you could exhume and bring back to life one composer, that's somebody who writes music,
Yes,
who would it be and why?
Jeremy the Elder.
Jeremy the Elder. I'm sorry, but I've never heard of Jeremy the Elder.
He wrote chicken music. Like me, I am a composer.
Really?
Yes,
Well, that actually brings us neatly to the next...
me,
Well, it does bring us to you, yes.
I
And the next...
shout in the morning
Yes.
and compose with my shouting.
It's...
Music,
Is it music?
nicer music.
Okay. Well, the final question is actually...
Yes.
Do you think it would be appropriate for you to have your own
Yes.
signature ballad,
Yes.
like a... Yes?
Yes,
Well, have you written one?
Yes.
Would you like to sing it for us?
Jeremy Bad! Jeremy Bad!
Okay, you'll need a bit more of it than that.
That's all.
That's all.
Yes. Jeremy Bad! Jeremy Bad!
Well, thank you.
Yes.
It's been, as ever,
A
great.
pleasure to be with me.
Yes.
I'm so nice.
Yes.
A fabulous bird.
Yes, Jeremy. Thank you very much.
Well, moving rapidly on from that, I'm going to introduce the last tune for tonight, and this one really does defy explanation. We tried to record a third track, maybe I think it was about 2 nights ago, and the phone system was so
and the day
deplorable.
before as well, which I think we were on our 3rd attempt.
Yes, could be right. Yeah, the phone system, it just seems to have decided that enough is enough. Having gone weeks where, okay, you get the odd bad moment, but then it would clear up and we'd be okay and we can hear, and, you know, we recorded 10-minute long tracks and so on and so forth. It all of a sudden has decided to give up.
Certainly has.
And so we got to the stage where, oh, I've got this really interesting groove, Adam, right, I'm going to play it. And he could hear me until he plays, as we said earlier. And it just... I did hope that wasn't going to happen again. A bit like I do on the telephone, in all honesty. So anyway, it was a disaster, and we were at the... getting slightly worried. We've got a show on Tuesday, and we haven't recorded the third thing. Oh no, what do we do? So 1 o'clock this morning, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah, last night, this morning.
After we'd
whatever.
already basically given up.
Yes, it was the final attempt. Here we go, let's give it a go. And it was awful. Phone's
Appalling.
as bad as ever. I've actually...
No, worse than
yeah.
ever, worse than you could believe. I could even barely hear Murray when I wasn't playing this time for some reason.
It was quite deplorable, but what on earth do you do? We've got a deadline. And so Adam just sort of played something, and I couldn't tell what speed it was, what tempo, what time signature, nothing.
So we stopped. I counted him in. I gave him a 1, 2, 3, and then began
he
and
started.
said, we're just going to do it. You imagine what I'm playing, I'll imagine what you're playing. And
that's what
literally what happened. I probably heard properly 7 or 8 notes that he played. I was aware he was playing some of the time. Occasionally I thought he might have stopped, and I just imagined what we would have been doing if we were in a room.
Yeah, this couldn't work. It was absolutely destined that we would be out of time, maybe even wrong key. Who knows what could have gone wrong? It just couldn't work.
And there's no way at
impossibility.
any other moment we would have bothered carrying on, because it was just a joke. But we just did it anyway.
Yeah, well,
And
we
then-
might as well finish. Okay, hey-ho.
Came to the end, and I ended up on, for me, what was a long note. I hadn't heard Murray for, I don't know, 5 or 6 notes at all. I thought he might be holding a long note, which it turns out he was, but I didn't know. And we finished, and you can see it on the audio files once we'd put them together. We finished exactly together. I don't know how it works. It's
No.
miraculous. So
It's
out of woe,
insane.
misery and doom came this really rather lovely and attractive track. No idea how.
Yeah. So, just imagine, when you listen to this, just imagine trying to play along when you can't hear the other person. It's interesting.
This one is called Almost Unheard. I was up late. Really?
Click.
Video click.
Okay.
For 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in again, if tuning in is the right word for clicking something on a post. So that's goodbye from me for now.
Yes, it's been fun as ever. Nice to chat with you again, Adam. Next week we will be here at the same time on Facebook, YouTube, etc. We will have recorded it differently, so it's not going to be the InCider, it's going to be the Outsider, by means and methods as yet not 100% decided, but something will sort itself out. So we look forward to seeing you next week.